And we are live with NBA Finals Game 1 of these Sims playoffs. Milwaukee Bucks and Los Angeles Lakers have the matchup we've all pretty much expected, but there was some surprises here and there with the Brooklyn Nets and Houston Rockets. But now both those teams are gone, and we have the two one-seed teams in the finals. Big game. What do we? What do the Bucks need to win this series, and what are the keys for the Lakers to win this series?
Well, we've seen the Lakers really dominate the whole West Side. I believe their biggest threat really was in that first round against the Portland Trailblazers when Damian Lillard and crew were able to win a game. And really, ever since then, they've just been on a run. They killed the Thunder in every game but one, other than a buzzer beater. And obviously, they swept the Rockets. We've seen a lot of LeBron James, Anthony Davis switching off of who the stars of the game. Obviously, no matter who it is, one of them is going to put up big numbers. And I think a big thing for the Bucks defense is going to be able to contain one of the two. And the Lakers bench has also been a very big key for them. Kyle Kuzma has played very well so far in these playoffs, as has Caldwell Pope. The Bucks bench is going to have to play very well, like they have all season long, to keep Milwaukee in these games. And obviously, we've seen the MVP this year, in my opinion, and so far in these playoffs, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Uh, he's been, just outstanding. He has the season high, the playoff high in points that he had last round. He got better. He's gotten better as these playoffs has gone on. And obviously in the Eastern Conference Finals, he got a little bit of help from Eric Bledsoe and Chris Middleton in a couple of games, and those two players are the biggest key for the Bucks. If they can get one of those players to step up and help Giannis, they should be in a very good chance to win this series.
And big game. How's the matchup of Anthony Davis on Giannis and then Giannis on Anthony Davis going to work out in this series?
Well, I think you'll see Giannis similar to the Brooklyn series. He's going to be facing two bigs, Davis and McGee, or Dwight Howard, or whoever's down low. It's going to be very similar to Brooklyn when they had whether it was Claxton, Jared Allen, or DeAndre Jordan. Obviously, though, he's playing a superstar in Davis, so it'll be very interesting to see if he's going to be able to drive and finish in the lane like he did last series. And for Davis, we know he can score down low. It's really a question of whether or not his jumpers get going. If he can get his turnaround fadeaways or his mid-range jumpers going and getting some open shots, that the Lakers are in really good shape.
Big game. We saw Chris Middleton have to deal with a tough matchup in Jimmy Butler, but LeBron James is way beyond Jimmy Butler. How's he going to handle that matchup?
Well, it's going to be a very special series for Chris Middleton, in my opinion. As Davis gets a lob there from Danny Green and throws it down, you're gonna need to see Chris Middleton step up and probably have his best defensive series that he's ever had, maybe in his life. Obviously, guarding one of the best players in the world in LeBron James. Um, and I think you're going to see quite a few double teams helping Chris Middleton on LeBron James. There you saw Giannis hit a mid-range jumper.
And big game. You see Giannis Antetokounmpo's shoes. What do you have to say about those nice purple and pink shoes facing the purple and gold Lakers?
Yeah, it's a very interesting look. Obviously, maybe taking a shot here at the Lakers. We'll see how it pans out.
And so far in this game, Giannis 1 of 2 on. He had missed a fadeaway and then hit that mid range shot. So he's been getting up his shots early. Oh, and Giannis right through the lane. He is all for the Bucks points. And big game, we saw Danny Green get on in the paint on the Lakers last possession. If they can get Danny Green going, that's going to be trouble for Milwaukee, whether it's in the paint or outside.
And there, LeBron hits a fadeaway, and yeah, Danny Green, more or less known as a three-point specialist and obviously a great defender. You don't see him in the paint very often unless it's a fast break, but he was able to get in the paint there and finish in a tough crowd as Lopez misses a three there.
Oh, Matthews will switch on to LeBron, but he's going to get into the paint. Can't hit there. Gets the offensive board, and he's going to score. So far, the first quarter's been mostly LeBron, whether it's been off a pass or score. And big game,
Lopez fires up another three.
we've seen Brook Lopez do this in first quarters where he started off cold oftentimes, and usually it's 0 for 2 or 0 for 3, especially in the conference finals and semifinals. How does he solve that issue?
Well, obviously, his shot has really just not been falling. We haven't really seen him have a very productive game. As there are three by Bledsoe from the 3-point land. Uh, Last time we saw that was probably the first run against the Magic when he hit a couple of threes. So his shot has really been off here. I think if it continues, you could see Mike Budenholzer tell him to settle down the 3-point shots and maybe get him some more post-up looks. As now Wesley Matthews on the other end. Bucks lead 9-8.
And big game, have you noticed anything about the pace so far for each team in the first quarter?
Well, you've seen the Lakers, in my opinion, really slow it down. You've seen them get LeBron James a couple of post-ups, obviously Anthony Davis a lob, and on the other end, you've seen the Bucks kind of play, more high tempo, get up quick shots. Lopez has fired up two quick threes as Davis is fouled there by Middleton. He's going to the line. You've seen Giannis take some quick shots in the shot clock, but for both teams, they're playing at their own paces, and so far it's worked out for them. How it plays out later in the game, will really be a factor. I think for the Bucks to keep up this fast pace, they're going to need some long misses and or some turnovers by the Lakers to try and get a hold of this lead and maybe hold on to a lead throughout the game.
And as we say in the pregame show, we know the benches are the key, and Lakers bench not really known as a top 10, maybe even 15 bench in the league, but nice pass by Caldwell Pope to the alley-oop for Anthony Davis. They got really hot in that series against the Houston Rockets as well as against the Thunder in the semifinals. How do they bring that same tempo and motivation against the Bucks, who have a much better bench?
Well, you'd have to say the confidence for the Lakers bench has just grown significantly in the last two series, especially with Kuzma, who obviously had a down year compared to the previous year. Caldwell Pope played a lot better, and Caldwell Pope scores there. And even Rajon Rondo played, a guy with a lot of playoff experience. He had some good series, good games, and for these guys to continue that, they just their confidence has grown. They got to hit shots, and obviously on the defensive end, when you have Howard and Davis out there at the same time, when Davis stays in with the bench, that's two big men that are gonna be, it's gonna be hard to score in the paint.
And it's really tough, like you said, with all those bigs, but now Kuzma's at small forward, so he usually plays power forward off the bench, so that makes it even harder for him. George Hill for three, he hits. And we have under 50 seconds left in the first quarter. Lakers lead by 2. It's been a close affair so far between these two teams. And look at Caldwell Pope. 4 points in the first quarter, big game. He's remaining hot since the conference finals.
And he hasn't taken a three. It's all been driving layups or tough finishes. And something I noticed too with Anthony Davis, Davis has really as Robin Lopez fouled by Kuzma and one opportunity. With Davis, I believe Davis is both of his shots that he's made have been on lob attempts, and he's missed all of his other layup attempts. He's been guarded pretty well, other than on a couple of those lob passes where the Bucks defense has gotten behind him. So that's something to keep an eye on. If Davis continues to struggle, it could be a good sign for the Bucks. Bucks will have the last shot here. 2 seconds left. George Hill, mid-range jumper, got it. And the Bucks will be down one going into the second quarter, down 18-17 here in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. A pretty high-scoring affair here in this first quarter. And I think you'll see now the Lakers. Obviously, Anthony Davis played that whole first quarter. You'll see Davis probably start on the bench here in the second quarter. You'll probably see LeBron James come in and start it. so the Lakers will have one of their stars. No, they won't. LeBron's still on the bench, so now a full-on Lakers bench rotation in.
And now George Hill takes the mid-range. He's gonna hit, and that's a Bucks has the lead. And look at this big game. George Hill 3 for 3. He hit that three when the Bucks were down 5. It almost seemed like we were gonna see a Lakers run, but George Hill's really led this bench like you would expect if you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan.
He led the league in three-point shooting this year, and he gets blocked there by Kuzma. And we know George Hill can score the ball. He's always been known as a pretty good scorer. And now down the a steal, Robin Lopez.
Kyle Korver over to Hill. He drives it. Oh, it's blocked again. This time by Caruso. And those aren't bad shots by George Hill, just at least trying to get a foul, but better defense by the Lakers on those. Kyle Kuzma for 3. Can't hit, but Howard is there and gets fouled. And big game, both these teams have poor free throw shooters off the bench, and Dwight Howard and Robin Lopez. Does that mean the strategy is to foul them on most of these layups or any post moves that are pretty easy shots, or do you just let them take those shots?
Well, I think you'll see the Bucks foul Dwight Howard a lot more than the Lakers will foul Lopez. Dwight Howard obviously free throw shooting ever since he came in the league was always sluggish, but it's continually gone down. And that is something late in games. If he's in the game, you'll see is now a turnover by Marvin Williams. Caruso on the steal, and Caruso now with the block and a steal. And Caruso fires up a tough layup and got it.
And this has been a very close game so far. As you see, both teams have shot the same number of shots. Just the Lakers have the extra possession, the extra made shot. Here comes Chris Middleton, a little mid-range. He hits. All tied at 21. And big game, like you said, with Anthony Davis playing most of the first quarter. Should we expect him with about a minute or two left in this quarter to come back in?
Yeah, you'll see him probably around the 2-minute range, I'd have to guess. As you saw there, Caruso with another tough finish in the paint. And Caruso now scoring off the Lakers bench, and now a 3-ball by the Bucks.
Chris Middleton's having a good first half so far as he hits back-to-back shots now. Oh, LeBron, open lane. Giannis, those there. Good defense. Oh, and Danny Green might have saved a wide open 3 there for the Bucks. Probably a good foul.
You see McGee for the Lakers and Brook Lopez for the Bucks check back in. So both starting centers back in the game now.
Well, and you see the Morris brothers come in right here and will be guarding Giannis. And that's going to be a tougher matchup for them, as usually Anthony Davis is going to be on them. But with Anthony Davis playing most of that first quarter, we'll see how that situation goes, whether it's Kuzma, maybe even putting a center on him. Oh, late foul there by Wesley Matthews. And there'll be 14 seconds now on the shot clock. Anthony Davis tries to get a mid-range. He can't. And now Giannis on Caldwell Pope. There should be a mismatch out. Caldwell Pope fade away, and they cannot convert. Here come the Bucks. Giannis right down the lane and over Pope. And they have a 5-point lead. Big game. How important is the home court presence in the NBA Finals for the Bucks here in Game 1?
Well, I've seen them be great at home during the regular season and obviously in the playoffs as well. As another offensive rebound for the Lakers, and Giannis picks up his first foul, and McGee going to the line for 2. We've seen home court advantage just be very powerful in these playoffs for these top seeds. The Lakers, as well, have just been absolutely dominant at home. So it's very important to take care of business at home. We've seen that throughout the playoffs, for a while now. It's not just this year. So taking care of business at home is a big key. And Connaughton hits a three there. Bucks extend the lead again.
And right now in this Bucks run in this late in the second quarter, it's been about ball movement, and they're doing a great job at that. And the Lakers, even though we've seen them get a lot of offensive boards, like you said, the Bucks are doing a good job following them. But there they can't, as JaVale McGee throws one down off the offensive rebound. But if you're going to allow an offensive rebound, at least don't allow an easy finish and force them to make free throws.
We've seen that a couple times now. As now Bledsoe fires up a three, no good. But we've seen the Lakers really crash the offensive glass very well, whether it's been Davis or the big men of Howard or McGee. And that's something that I think the Bucks will definitely talk about at halftime, trying to get bodies in on the glass.
Oh, and a good switch there by the Bucks as Ilyasova gets a steal too on the switch now. Oh, but turned over by Pat Connaughton trying to go to Bledsoe in the paint. And now Caldwell Pope, easy finish, and he's up to 6 points. 3-point game with under 45 seconds. Bledsoe hits. And big game. Giannis hasn't had too big of a first half, just doing his job, but you got to be happy for Coach Mike Budenholzer with Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe in this first half,
Well,
as
you
well
can
as
throw
George Hill. Yeah.
throw George Hill into that as well. The Bucks bench played pretty well to keep them in tab, and obviously when Giannis came back in, along with the other Bucks stars, they've just played very well. Their 3-point shot has really started to fall here in the second quarter. And if you're the Lakers, LeBron James has been pretty solid. A deep three by Bledsoe is no good.
And Milwaukee will have a 34-28 lead heading to halftime of NBA Finals Game 1. And here we are with our halftime show as it was a pretty competitive matchup between these two teams, but the Bucks seem to get a little lead and breathing room late in the second quarter as Giannis Antetokounmpo leads them with 8 points, but Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe also having really good first halves as their big three, as they like to call it, is doing a great job. But the offensive rebounds are the key and those blocks for the Lakers. Anything else, big game?
I think the thing that stands out to me, obviously, 4 more rebounds for the Lakers, and I'd say probably 4 or 5 of those rebounds are offensive rebounds that they've been able to then score on, whether it's been a free throw or a layup attempt on the follow-up. And really, this game could be even, or it could be an even larger lead for the Bucks if they're able to corral some of those rebounds. So obviously, coming out of halftime, I think that will be the biggest key for the Bucks is getting every rebound and not allowing the Lakers to get any easy offensive putbacks.
And that's all we have it for our halftime show, and we'll be back to the action soon. And we are back in the Fiserv Forum for Game 1 of the NBA Finals, second half. Bucks lead by 6 currently. Big game. What's going to be the key for them to win in the second half?
Well, I think you're gonna need to see Anthony Davis score more than other on lobs. We've seen him. Believe his Lopez fired up another three. You're gonna see, yeah, Davis needs to be more involved in the offense, take better shot selection, and I think you'll see LeBron James obviously step up and do a lot more driving on Chris Middleton or whoever's guarding him.
And big game, we see both these teams shooting either 50% or higher. And the surprising thing is the Lakers have 3 blocks in this game. The Bucks have none, but seems like the Bucks post defense, or at least paint defense, has been pretty good despite that make by Anthony Davis. Like you said, Anthony Davis is only scoring on lobs right now, not really post moves. And Anthony Davis or Giannis misses a post move there as Anthony Davis does a good job guarding him. And Avery Bradley just throws it in with two hands, fading away. And now the Lakers are only down by 2.
And it'll be interesting to see here. Obviously, we've seen in playoff series before this the different lineups that both these coaches go to. Whether do the Lakers go back to resting LeBron early and keeping Anthony Davis so LeBron plays the whole fourth quarter, or do they keep in both? Obviously, in the finals, do you play them and hope that the Lakers can get the lead? And for the Bucks, the same thing as here. There's going to be a jump ball. Giannis able to tie up LeBron James at the top of or at the free throw line there.
We'll see who can gain possession. Oh, LeBron gets it, but it rolls off Wesley Matthews into Anthony Davis. Under 10 seconds on the shot clock. Here comes LeBron. Pull up mid-range, no good. And Giannis goes right through the defense, and they have a 4-point lead. Timeout Lakers, big game. What's Frank Vogel going over with his team here with 4:09 left in the third quarter?
Well, I was just about to say that they were getting back on defense pretty well there, but then they all kind of spread out, leaving Avery Bradley on an island there against Giannis Antetokounmpo, which Giannis is going to win 9 times out of 10, maybe even 10 out of 10. You'd like to see them pack out the paint, force Giannis to slow down, and obviously run a slower-paced offense because we've seen the Bucks try and get in this high-tempo stuff, and that's where they've been able to score. Is again a turnover, and Middleton is going to lay it in on the other end.
And big game, you talked about interesting lineups here. Anthony Davis and LeBron James taking out less than 2 minutes in to the third quarter, and now the entire bench is in. While the Bucks have Middleton and Giannis in with DiVincenzo, Robin Lopez, and George Hill. What do you think about this lineup for the Bucks?
Well, obviously, with the Bucks, this is to me a very good scoring lineup in. Obviously, George Hill, great three-point shooter. DiVincenzo can make his own shot. Obviously, Kyle Korver, three-point specialist. Giannis, the scorer. So to me, this is if the Bucks can in any way extend this lead, or they should be able to extend this lead against the Lakers bench. If the Lakers bench, if you can, keep this within striking distance with your two All-Stars, obviously on the bench, the All-Stars are going to come back in with probably facing the majority of the Bucks bench. So really, it's going to be which starters can score on the other's bench and who can gain the most control.
And with this lineup in, if you're the Bucks, you really got to go to Giannis right now, and he blocks Dwight Howard. He's going to have a mismatch with either Morris or Kyle Kuzma, but they're actually going to elect to put in their bench with about 3:01 left, and Marvin Williams will sub in, and we didn't mention Middleton also subbed out for Kyle Korver, so we'll see a bench-on-bench matchup now. Bucks with another block.
And I believe that is just a chess play right there by Budenholzer, noticing, the Lakers could have their stars out there against the Bucks bench. He pulls Giannis and Middleton, the other starters, basically as soon as he can, to try and not allow the Lakers to have that opportunity.
And Robin Lopez misses again. Despite his and one earlier in the game, he's kind of been struggling, even on defense as well. Oh, they see a mismatch. George Hill is on Kyle Kuzma, an easy finish for Kuzma. And now the Bucks lead down to 2. And big game, really crazy here. Look at the field goal percentage. They've had the same number of possessions and shooting about the same, and pretty crazy how close this game's been.
Well, both shooting very well. Is now a lob from Kuzma to Dwight Howard, one-hand jam, and this game is tied up at 38. Bucks timeout. And the Lakers bench has come out to play here in this third quarter and has been able to come back and tie up this game. And the shooting percentage, you're seeing both these teams shoot very well, right at the 50% marker. And a majority of them actually have been on jump shots. We haven't really seen the paints be, dominated. There's been a couple lobs. You just saw Howard finish on one. You've seen obviously Anthony Davis finish a couple in for the Bucks. You've seen Giannis be able to get in, but otherwise it's been some tough floaters we've seen by like Caldwell Pope and Caruso. And obviously George Hill has hit a couple mid-range jumpers. Milton has hit some. deep jumpers, 3-point shots. So it's been very interesting to see how these offenses have flown. And and here a turnover by DiVincenzo stolen by Kuzma, and the Lakers with a chance to take the lead here for the first time since I believe early in that second quarter.
And big game with Robin Lopez struggling right now. The Bucks are going to elect to go to a smaller lineup, and we'll see how that costs them here as Kuzma's dominating them in the post. Ersan Ilyasova is now the center in for the Bucks, or Marvin Williams. And here's a play for George Hill off the screen, wide open three, can't hit. And that's probably the best play the Bucks bench has had in this third quarter. It's been lack of ball movement and a lot of turnovers for them. And that's what has allowed the Lakers to have a 2-point lead right now.
Well, and you saw obviously both teams with 3 turnovers, but you saw the points off turnovers. The Lakers with 6 points off of Bucks turnovers, and the Bucks only with 2 off of the Lakers turnovers is now a 24-second violation. As Caldwell Pope misses the rim, and 30 seconds left in the third quarter, and you see Anthony Davis, LeBron James check back into this game.
And they're also going to bring in, on the Bucks side, Eric Bledsoe.
And Brook Lopez is back in.
Nice move. Up and under on Anthony Davis, and it's all tied up. We'll see who gets the last shot for the Lakers, though, with under 15 seconds left. Here comes a shot. Avery Bradley fadeaway. Can hit. And we are all tied up going into the fourth quarter. Should be a good one in game one of the NBA Sim Playoff Finals.
I think the question coming into this fourth quarter is obviously Davis and LeBron both in for the Lakers. How soon does Giannis Antetokounmpo come back in for the Bucks, as he is not starting this fourth quarter, but a majority, I believe, every other starter for the Bucks is out there. And obviously that is the case, as Ersan, the only non-starter out there. So how soon Budenholzer brings back in his star Giannis Antetokounmpo will be the factor, and if obviously the Lakers put in a couple shots here, you could see there's another offensive rebound. Davis fouled, and he's going to the line.
And we'll see how early, like you said, Giannis will come back in. He only played 3 minutes in that third quarter, so we should see him soon. And there he is. So he just seemed like it was waiting for a foul or a timeout in the fourth quarter. Big game, you look at the free throw situation. That's what the Bucks have been lacking in this game, and good defense by Kyle Kuzma. The Bucks might go down by 4 here, and they do. Danny Green hits the mid-range.
Okay, so the Lakers shooting 8 of 10 from the free throw line. The Bucks obviously only 1 of 1. That one attempt came on an and one. So obviously the Bucks have not gotten the benefit of the whistle tonight from the refs, as Lopez fires up another 3, no good.
And he has been ice cold from the 3-point line. He has not made one in this game. He's 0 for 4. They just really need a good 3-point shot here to get their momentum going. Here come the Bucks in fast break off the Bradley miss. Good defense by the Lakers, but Giannis gets right around LeBron James on a spin move. Back to a 2-point lead for the Lakers. And look at that third quarter big game. The Bucks 17 in each of the first 2 quarters, but then only score 6 in the third quarter. What allowed the Lakers to play a lot better defense?
Well, you'd have to think that is probably the Bucks' worst quarter so far in these playoffs. And I'd have to say, obviously, they brought on the benches pretty early, so you saw the bench of the Bucks struggle. Giannis, didn't play a lot in that third. Lopez now a fade away from the free throw line, and he got it. Game tied back up at 44.
And if you're the Bucks, that's the looks that Brook Lopez need. He made that nice up and under post move off a offensive rebound, and now he makes a fadeaway. Maybe the post moves are the way to go, going back to a throwback Brooklyn Nets game.
No, why would you shoot
Good
that?
rebound by Giannis. Can't get it.
Whoa.
2 misses there.
You
3:30
saw
left.
Davis interfered on both of those shot attempts by Giannis and Milton there. Yeah,
Wow,
no,
and
LeBron
LeBron
really struggling
James.
here.
Chris Middleton and Lopez have been doing a good job communicating through double teams constantly, as it seems JaVale McGee has been the key on double teams. But right now, Brook Lopez is guarding Anthony Davis, so he's taking a big risk, and Avery Bradley gets
My.
posterized, and they now have the lead. And you look in this game, he only has 14 points with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. He's just having a really good, he's having an average game at this point, while Middleton and Bledsoe are doing a great job supporting him.
And that last possession there, you saw, obviously Giannis able to drive by and get in the open lane, and obviously Bradley, not the man you want on help side when Giannis is driving. You'd like a bigger man there, but they were able to get Davis and JaVale McGee out of the restricted area, and obviously LeBron James was also not there to try and defend. And Giannis, yet again, throws down another monster dunk.
Well, in big game, that's the risk they're taking right now. They don't have JaVale McGee or Howard in right now with Anthony Davis in at center, but now they do change it where JaVale McGee's back in. And we've seen LeBron have a pretty cold 3 quarters here, big game. What can you do to change it around since his good first quarter?
Well, I think the Bucks have done a better job on pick and rolls with LeBron and closing off the lane, for allowing LeBron to drive. And I think a lot of that is credit to Chris Milton, how great defensively he's played. Milton now an open
Bang!
three, and he drills it. Bucks lead up to 5 here.
And wow, this might be Chris Middleton's best game of the playoffs so far. And what a time to shine. Like you said, this is his moment to prove what kind of player he really is, and he's doing that in game one. But great alley oop pass to Anthony Davis, and they cut it down to 3. And we are at the 2-minute marker, and the Bucks are going to call a timeout. Big game. What kind of plays Mike Budenholzer saying for his offense, or is he discussing something on the Lakers for defense?
Well, I thought defensively they've done a pretty stellar job so far. Obviously, LeBron James and the last possession just had a great pass to Davis. Not much you can do there. Offensively, I think you could see another play drawn up for Chris Milton. Obviously, he just hit that three. You get someone else playing well. Oh, it's Giannis. Oh, blocked.
Here comes LeBron, and it seems the Bucks did a good job on their scattered defense there. Oh, a double screen for Avery Bradley. He takes a fadeaway 3, can't hit, and actually that was a deep 2. But here come the Bucks again. Dante DiVincenzo, alley-oop to Giannis, he hits. And wow, what extension on that alley-oop. A minute 30 here and counting. Here comes LeBron in the paint, throws it down one-handed. He finally gets past the Bucks defense. But you look at this big game. 3 and 9 in this game, 6 points. This is not a conventional LeBron James game in the NBA Finals, especially recent years. Great pass by Giannis, and the Bucks have a 5-point lead again.
And obviously, that was LeBron's first bucket, I believe, since that first quarter, showing LeBron's struggles so far. Obviously, he led the league in assists this year. LeBron drives again and throws down another dunk, and all of a sudden, the Bucks defense has been a little slow now, and LeBron James has come alive and thrown down back-to-back hammer jams. Yeah, if the Bucks can continue to score, that's okay, but you can't allow this to happen late because LeBron James can get hot just in a flash. As now Giannis drives again on Davis and scores.
And you look at those two matchups we just showed you, Middleton versus LeBron. Middleton has won that matchup, and Giannis has beat Davis. So the fact that the Bucks only lead by 5, not the worst sign for the Lakers, but if you're the Bucks, you have to win this game right now, leading by 5. Oh, and they're going to foul Giannis with 37.7 seconds left. Misses the first. And he makes a second 6-point lead. And I don't think the Lakers are going to call a timeout here, big game. What do you think about that?
Well, I think you go for a quick bucket here, whether it's a two or a three, and you hit it, then you foul again, and obviously, you'd like to save that timeout for if you're only down by two or three, in the last 10, 15 seconds to try and drop a play. As there, Davis lays it in with 24.5 left in the clock. The Bucks use their final timeout, up four.
And we'll see who's going to be shooting free throws here. You'd like to see Chris Middleton or maybe Eric Bledsoe, but they're going to go to Giannis, surprisingly. With a 4-point lead, you'd like to see him at least make one if you're the Bucks. And he does. He makes the first. And he can't finish the second, giving the Lakers some breathing or life here in the fourth quarter.
And the Lakers use their final timeout. I believe this is the possession where they might try and drop a 3-point look for somebody. It could go to LeBron, could go to Bradley, Danny Green, a good 3-point shooter, and obviously Anthony Davis is capable. Obviously, to me, it's a wide open, or it's a 3-point look or a wide open layup here. Lakers can't waste much time though.
And it seems like they're doing just that. LeBron, though, will get an easy layup. Not the worst play. Now they got to get a steal here. Oh, DiVincenzo subbed in. It'll be Bledsoe or DiVincenzo on the free throws. And it'll be Eric Bledsoe shooting two. Misses the first. Now, big game. This could be a really costly miss.
Yeah, you don't see Bledsoe miss very many free throws. He hits the second 4-point game, and the Lakers still, with a glimmer of hope here, need a quick shot here.
Deep three, no good. And Giannis will be fouled again. Not the worst shot, especially for LeBron James. A fadeaway three over Middleton in the catch and shoot specifically. But if you're Mike Budenholzer, you are not happy with how this game finished out free throw wise. At least you make these two here. But before that, you'd gone a combined 3 of 6 from the free throw line, giving the Lakers some breathing room. But that's going to do it. 60-54 is the final. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We'll be back for Game 2 in Milwaukee and see if the Lakers can bounce back. And now let's head into our post-game show. Big game. We look at the Bucks, who won this game. Giannis dominates in his average fashion, 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists on 9 of 14 shooting, and not even his best game in the playoffs, but he did a good job leading them to a Game 1 victory. But Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe both showed up in this one, especially Chris Middleton on defense. It's been a long time since LeBron James has had to play a tough defense like this. He only had 10 points, was it, big game? And six of those points were fourth quarter wide open dunks. So the Bucks did a great job help side or just Chris Middleton face guarding him. What else do you have to say about the Bucks' performance in Game 1?
Well, you kind of pointed out, obviously, we talked about before the game, the keys for the Bucks. We need to see Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe. We just wanted one of the two to step up, but tonight they continued their strong games from the Eastern Conference Finals and brought this here to the finals in Game 1. Middleton obviously shoots 4 or 5 from the floor. It's 10 points. Bledsoe 7 points, 3 assists. Obviously, George Hill off the bench had that 7-point second quarter, I believe that was. And very solid outing. Obviously, the bench for the Bucks really struggled in that third quarter, but they were able to overcome that and played very well down the stretch in this game in the fourth quarter. And obviously, we also were talking about how before that late LeBron James run for the Lakers, it was really Middleton was outscoring and really outperforming LeBron James. Obviously, it didn't end up like that because LeBron had those few buckets late. But, if Giannis can just continue to have these kind of games where he gets a little bit of help and he puts up these kind of numbers, it's going to be tough for the Lakers to be able to come and win this series. And I'd also like to say I thought the Bucks did a very good job on the rebounding end in that second half compared to that first half. They allowed the Lakers multiple offensive rebounds and extra possessions in that first half. And in the second half, I thought they did a very good job boxing out, grabbing rebounds, and I believe they even got a few more offensive rebounds than the Lakers did in that second half.
And we go over to the Lakers side. Anthony Davis leads them with 14 points, 5 rebounds. For the rebound numbers they had, you would have expected a bit higher than 5 rebounds, and Anthony Davis seemed like he only had maybe one or two of those offensive. He had one offensive rebound, but he did shoot 4-4 from the free throw line. But really, this game's on LeBron James. 5 of 14, not expected. He's had some of these performances in the past, like in 2011 against Dallas, and in other certain playoff series in the finals, having some poor field goal percentage. But this is not a good start for the Lakers. You are on the road at least, so you have that to look forward to. And if you're a Lakers fan, you want to see them win game 2. You can't be going down 2-0, especially with how good that Bucks defense looked. Anything else big game on the Lakers side?
Well, you gotta just talk about how stellar I thought their bench was. Kuzma, I thought, played very well. Caldwell Pope, scored. Caruso had a couple of buckets. I thought their bench continued similar to Milwaukee's bench, how good they played in the Western Conference Finals. They brought that here in the game 1 of the finals. Obviously, you don't expect Caldwell Pope or people like Caruso to really put in, buckets every game, but they've done this continuously now in a couple games in a row. And yeah, LeBron James, very rare to see him shoot this poorly, especially in a finals game, especially recently, especially with his Cavs days when he took the majority of the shots and obviously carried the team on his back against those Golden State Warriors super teams. But here tonight, just really struggled from the floor. And I thought Anthony Davis played pretty well. Could have asked for a little bit more out of him, but as you said, the Lakers should really come in and look to win game 2 and try to steal home court. You don't want to be going down 2-0 back to LA, as you said, with how good this Bucks team is.
And on a final note, final of game 1 of the NBA Finals, 60-54 is your final. And we'd like to thank you all for joining us, and we'll be back in Milwaukee for game 2. Keep track of the schedule, and thanks for joining.